Thank you very much for the nice introduction. So in the next 8 minutes, I will give you a little insight into our IEA-IETS, Industrial Energy-Related Technologies and Systems, so the Annex 15, concerning to the industrial excess heat recovery. So I brought our operating agent with us, so Tore Berntsen is sitting over there, and also the EXCO delegate Elvira Luther. The participating countries are the Denmark, Germany, Norway, Austria, Portugal, and Sweden, and pending is actually now Canada, France, and Italy. And we are actually now in the phase 2, which has been started in October 16th. And we have defined 4 subtasks, which means the first subtask is the in-depth evaluation of inventory for excess heat levels. Later on, I will describe this in more detail. Then the methodology, how to perform inventory in practice. Then we also have the policy instruments and the technology development. Well, it's not only me standing here, so there is a huge team behind us. And this concerns the 3 partners, AIT, TU Wien, the Institute of Energietechnik and Thermodynamik, and also the IEA-INTEC, Institute für nachhaltige Technologien. The names are written over there, and we also have a subcontractor which is very big involved into the topics of the policy instruments. It's the Energieinstitut, named by Simon Moser here, and Horst Steinmüller. Well, the situation, we're all aware on the climate goals, so the progress in energy-related technologies for great importance because the part of the industry of the primary energy consumption is a big high. And the other hand, we have the possibility with this annex in regard of the visibility and the know-how transfer. And the goals and the methods we do here is to integrate Austrian research institutions into the international network. On one hand side, this gives us information exchange and also the initiation of international projects. So as well, we can develop cooperations and partnerships between the industry and also the research institutes, and therefore we can expand our know-how, so which gives a know-how transfer. Well, here you can see the Annex timeline, which means the project started in October 16th. Then we had a lot of meetings, so telcos, webcos, and also face-to-face meetings, which means the international Annex meeting has been in Lisbon. And this year in January, we had a meeting in Vienna at the AIT. And we are planning to hold a national stakeholder workshop, so to bring the targets group of the industry, technical bureaus, process automation, public decision makers, and funding agencies and so on, consultings together. But the date is to be announced, so we have a discussion on this when it is when it will be settled. So the international annex is ending in September this year, and we are writing now the end of the report, the end report, and the national annex ends in December 18th. Well, here you can see the total picture of our annex, which means the 4 topics. The first question is how to perform an inventory. The second is how to derive the potential for the excess heat usage. Here you can see the plant on one hand side, the heat demand, and also the excess heat. And the question is, what's possible for internal or external reuse? So we divide in different excess heat and waste heat. So the excess heat could be named as white, green, or black heat. And then also we have internal reuse, or it is an excess heat if it can't be used anymore further. So the waste heat, the waste heat. So then we have the impact on the policy instruments. So this gives us a sort of investment decision, and therefore it is interacting with the technologies itself. So for the excess heat usage, which means on one hand side the storage, and on the other hand side thermal energy storage, on the other hand side also heat pumping technologies and so on. So going some insights into the inventory, how to perform it. So the first is to develop a standardized evaluation template for the industrial excess heat. So therefore, we had a lot of different potential studies, which means on different projects led by IEA-IETS. And the idea is to develop from these different approaches from international levels, which means in Sweden there is an international level then compared to Austria or Germany, to develop a standardized template for the performance of the inventory of energy levels. And the next step is how to derive potentials for the excess heat usage, and therefore we have in our consortium two different frameworks. On one hand side, we have the storage optimization concept developed by the AIT, and on the other hand side, we have a process integration framework developed by AIT. So this is a different approach, and the idea is to make a comparison between those two approaches with an example. Here you can see a dairy factory which was provided by the AIT, and we provided the comparison of our two approaches. So we have 37 process streams and with changing operating states, and the idea is to reduce them because of computational effort, and therefore we applied mathematical programming and so on, and to put the storage into these systems, so to calculate them into the system to use them more efficient. On this, we also had a workshop on pinch methodology last year and this January. So you can see a lot of institutions are included there, and the idea was international approaches also from Chalmers University and also from CanMed and also ISEL on these topics are named over there, which means applications for identifying the opportunities. On one hand side of the internal heat recovery, excess heat usage, and also the integration of the technologies, as you can see. Well, the impact on the policy instruments on excess heat and its usage is very important. So we have the target for a development of tailor-made policy instruments for optimized enforcement of excess heat recovery in industry. And the idea is to develop from this assessment metrics with the definition of dimension criteria and also the evaluation of the individual and combined application of policy instruments on a micro economic theory, and also the application of the assessment metrics to be identified by policy instruments, and the input of the results of the survey will be conducted by the AIT and also the subcontractor, so the Energy Institute. Well, the last part, I have 0 minutes, that's good. The last parts are the technologies. So here I present two slides of technologies, which means on thermal energy storages, and they are very different, as you can see here. We have a hybrid energy storage concept on one hand side, combining a roots accumulator with latent thermal energy storage. Then we have also latent heat energy storages with high density polyethylene, and also seasonal sorption storage concepts by the AIT, and the TU Vienna is also researching since more than 8 years on different kind of thermal energy storages in the type of active fluidization technology, the latent heat energy storages, and also on regenerators, fixed bed regenerators, as you know maybe from industry processes. So hurry up. Thank you very much.